Gary Maurer from Green Pro Solutions. Welcome back. Today we're introducing our brand new what we call a rail system because it sits on this bed rail of your truck, and actually it's entirely on the bed rail so that you can take tanks on and off the truck without removing the pump, motor, and hose reel. More about that later. Our first view today looks at the pump, engine, and the plumbing that goes along with this particular unit, and a hose reel with 300 feet, electric hose reel, and it sits on that aluminum platform as you can see there. As we rotate it around the unit here, you can see it from the back side. In this case, there's a large 275-gallon IBC tank and a smaller 35-gallon full drain rectangular tank that sits on those small aluminum legs. And you can see there's a certain amount of storage there. I want to make note too, and you can see this is a short bed truck. So all of this equipment fits on a very small footprint and still has a good bit of storage left over. So now let's get into the details on this special, what we call the rail unit, because it sits on the side rail of this pickup truck. We call this series our rail mount series. And there's a whole lot of different formats for it, but this is just to give you an overview. As we go back to a picture there's our hose reel. You can see a better shot of the aluminum plate that all of the equipment sits on. This is an electric rewind reel. You could get it in hand rewind if you want to save a couple of additional dollars. But there's also special ends on the hose. You can just see that little silver thing there. That's a field replaceable hose end. Makes it very easy to fix when you're out in the field. And you see the roller assembly there. Now let's move on to the pump and motor combination. In this case, this is a 13 horsepower Honda engine, electric start, mated to a Udor Kappa 75 or Delta 75 pump that puts out 20 gallons a minute at 580 psi. The way this is plumbed, you would be able to easily hit 50-foot high trees, and it's quite a remarkable unit for the small size that it takes. Just a note there too, down at the lower right hand corner you can see the two lift rings that there's two on each end. So if you want to take this off your pickup truck, you just attach a strap to that and you can easily lift it off on those rare occasions when you would need to do that, maybe over the winter or whatever. Now as we move on to our next photograph, you can see the plumbing layout. This is made with actually three-way ball valves so that we can have two tanks hooked into this pump without a lot of extra plumbing. So this saves time and money on our part making it for you, and it makes it very convenient as far as operation is concerned. So you see the valve there in the bottom section of your photograph. Right above that there's a round dot with a black hole in the center. That's a safety system. That's a vacuum relief valve. If for some reason you shut this system off or clogged it up or plugged it up somehow so it couldn't suck any liquid into it, that safety system would automatically open and leave air into it, which will keep you from damaging your pump. Above that you see the 1.5-inch line strainer that'll keep everything clean for you. And all the way at the bottom you can see the tag where it says tank 1, handle in this position. Then if you move the handle back and there's an arrow, it shows you how you would pick up to tank number 2. Our next picture moves on to the return valve. Here again, same concept. One valve connected to two tanks, another label that clearly identifies how things are linked together. You can also see your regulator there, and it's plumbed directly into the pump on the right hand side. That green knob is what you use to change the pressure on the system. So very simple to understand, layout's convenient. As we move around to the rear of the unit now, you can see how the plumbing works with both the large IBC and the smaller 35-gallon tank. This unit was actually designed so that we could just send you the operation side of it that sits on the rail of your the side of your truck, and then you can find your own tanks locally. It's easy to find those IBCs. Used ones are all over the place. You can find them for as low as $100, and it's a very inexpensive way to get a tank, and we'll provide all the plumbing to that tank. You see how it's hooked into connection that's already on the tank with a valve that's already on the tank. So it's very efficient. And if you want to use your truck Maybe you're a company, maybe just starting out, or maybe this is an extra unit that you're adding just for custom work or follow up to special calls from customers that want special services. But sometimes you may want to use this truck for something other than spraying. And if you look at this angle of the truck, you can see that both tanks can easily be taken out of the truck. In 10 minutes, you can have these tanks out of the truck, and then basically the hose reel and the pump and the motor combination that sits on the side of your truck does not stick out any farther than your wheel well. So you basically have a 4-foot width at the floor that you can put in drywall or sheets of plywood or plant materials or bags of mulch or whatever else you might want to carry in this pickup truck without taking the time to remove the whole spray unit, which is why we refer to it as part of our modular series, where things come in different components and you can pick and choose A, which components you want to purchase, and B, the flexibility of taking components on and